Welcome back, everybody. This is the U Stadium Network. We're here with the newest member of the U Stadium family. That's Glenn. He's now a Panthers mega fan, if you will. He's going to be posting exclusive content on the app. This isn't exclusive content, but you know what it is? Banger content. He and I had the idea. We're going to go through every team, all 32 of them, and pick one guy per team that we think, one new addition to that team. So not Patrick Mahomes, not Aaron Rodgers. One new player for every team that we think is going to be a difference maker on this team, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's a guy signed in free agency, a guy acquired through trade, or, one of the 259 picks in the draft. I took the AFC. Glenn took the NFC. So let's get it popping. I'm going to go into one guy that, I think I've talked ad nauseum about Najee Harris being not the best pick the Steelers could have made. So there's a cap on how good of a pick a team can make in a given situation. Mm-hmm. Say like the only A++ pick I gave in the entire draft was Christian Darrisaw because they had to trade down and then they got a player they should have gotten at 14. They got him at 23.
Yep.
So that's how you get an A++. You get an A+ if you get like the best player at a position of need and an important position. So this is like, say, Trevor Lawrence.
And depending where you draft him.
Slater to the Chargers, Fields, Bateman. If Najee Harris played any other position than running back, he would have earned an A+. He actually might have earned an A+. I think it was definitely an A. It was the pick. Now, running back, whatever, but it was the pick. Again, I've talked ad nauseum, so I'm going to try to keep this short. But Najee Harris opened the Super Bowl window for the Steelers. He was the only player that could do that. Yeah. Najee Harris opened the Super Bowl window for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't know about that, man.
Okay, hear me out. With what Pittsburgh does right now, it's a quick passing game. Ben Roethlisberger, you look at a chart of like time to throw. Lamar's all the way at the top, over 3 seconds. Ben Roethlisberger was flirting with 2 seconds for a lot of the season. He is like snap out, snap out, snap out, snap out. So offensive line play in terms of pass pro doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter that Kevin Dotson was the highest graded PFF pass blocker. That's good, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that DeCastro's gone. It doesn't matter that Trey Turner was awful last year with the Chargers. Your friend Trey Turner was awful with the Chargers. And now he's with the Steelers. It's like, okay, whatever. He's not as good as DeCastro, but it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have quick passes, so the offensive line doesn't matter there. The offensive line does matter in the run game, but there are a couple running backs, the Derrick Henrys of the world, the Nick Chubbs of the world, although Chubb does have an elite offensive line. These guys can create their own yardage. They break tackles. They can turn zeros into threes. They turn twos into fives, and they turn 5 into 500. Well, 55. So I think Najee Harris – by the end of year one, is a top 10 running back. And I would not be surprised. Yeah, I would not be surprised if he's a runaway offensive rookie of the year, pending quarterback, because pending quarterback. It's like the Justin Jefferson thing last year that he's for all intents and purposes offensive rookie of the year, but he just happened to be the same season as freaking Herbert.
As Justin Herbert, right.
So quarterback adjusted, Najee Harris should be the best rookie, period. He's the pro ready. He can do stuff as a receiver. He can pass block. He was number 10 on my board for a reason, even as a running back. And I think it opened the Super Bowl window. It's one of the few cases that it's okay drafting a running back round one. I know you're a big Jacobs guy, but I thought the Vegas taking Jacobs was just bad decision making.
I agree with that. I like Jacobs as he is now. When I say that, I agree that like taking him with that pick was kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I guess when you've got 3 first-round picks, you've got a little bit of wiggle room.
That's fair. So, and I'm not saying the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. I just think you open the door. They went from a 0% chance to like a 3% chance. Now, it would take a lot. It would take Ben Roethlisberger, keeping it together. At the end of last season, he fell off. He had 4 picks in the playoff game.
Well, yeah.
Which isn't entirely his fault, but he had one good half of football after week 10.
Yep.
That's not ideal. The defense is awesome. So if you go hard into that defense, pass rush, coverage, you get Devin Bush back.
Right.
And you say, all right, this offense is going to do just enough. You play some throwback football, do just enough. You can win games, and they have enough off. They have 4 Robins, and I have knocked the Steelers in the past for saying, well, you have 4 Robins, but you don't have a Batman. Najee Harris is your Batman now.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, and that's a good point that you made as far as pass protection doesn't matter when you're getting the ball out that fast, because I was pounding the table for Pittsburgh to go tackle at that pick and not take Najee Harris. I know a lot of Steelers fans wanted Harris at that spot. They were begging for him, and it obviously it worked out that way because he somehow was not the first running back off the board, despite being the best running back in the draft. That whole thing with the Jaguars taking Etienne was weird, but
I think Harris was 24. Was Etienne was 25?
Oh, that is right. That is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're back to back. I get what you're saying though. They shouldn't have been taken back. Jacksonville taking a running back was weird.
For some reason, I thought the Steelers were at pick 26, not 24.
You're good. You're good.
I knew Etienne was 25, but
you're good.
But yeah, but that's a great point you made, and I hadn't really considered that as far as how pass protection goes. And I agree with you. I think the Steelers need to play throwback football, focus on your defense, your run game. I like Harris a lot. Taking running backs in the first round is never fantastic value. Even with Christian McCaffrey going at number 8, being the best running back in the league. I mean, you saw last year those carries started to get. The guy had 400 plus touches back-to-back years, so the carries and those touches start to add up, and he has injury here and injury there. He misses much of the year.
Yeah, and then
and running back is obviously the most replaceable position in the NFL.
Mike Davis.
Yeah, exactly. With that being said, the way you talk about it makes me think differently about that Najee Harris pick. He's gonna do well, and obviously he's a huge upgrade over James Conner. And we talked about how Ben threw the ball way too much last year. Well, when you don't have a run game, you don't have decent running backs, you kind of have to, because you can't rely, especially in today's NFL, you can't rely on that defense forever. Eventually, go ahead.
I think Connor is a solid running back. He did enough that the Steelers decided to take him over Le'Veon Bell at an exorbitant price. But there's a difference between getting – I'm sure you can speak to this with McCaffrey, that there's a difference between a good running back that can do what he does with the blocking and a great running back that does that little something extra. Tennessee has a good offensive line. I like Taylor Lewan. Saffold's always a highly rated player. They had Conklin for a long time. He's in Cleveland now. Ben Jones, the center, is very good. Cleveland has an awesome offensive line. But when Cleveland didn't have an offensive line, Nick Chubb's still going to get yards. He's still going to roll out 4.5 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry. Henry's going to get 5 yards a carry if it's 2 of us and 3 other guys from the app blocking. He's just going to do that. And I think Harris is much closer to that you are raising the floor of your rushing game with him. And I was actually listening to a PFF pod today, and they compared Najee Harris to attacking the symptom rather than the disease. So let's say you got a cold and you took cough medicine. You're not taking cold medicine. You're taking cough medicine.
Right.
So you're just fixing the symptom. And I agree to an extent, but think of Najee Harris like a do-it-all, a runny nose and cough and chills and all of your symptoms, but he's solving all of them. And he can be a guy that might average 4.5 yards a carry, 5 yards a carry, even with poor blocking.
Yeah, I agree with you.
James Conner is going to be what the blocking gives him.
Right. And the other thing with that, you mentioned you're addressing the symptoms, not the source. The source is the quarterback for Pittsburgh, and
that's fair.
They were not in a position to fix that. There's not a clear-cut guy in free agency you're going to go get. You don't
Dwayne
have
Haskins?
Stop it. There's not a clear-cut guy in free agency to go get. There's not a guy that you can afford to make a trade for. You can't go get Aaron Rodgers. You can't go get Deshaun Watson.
I would off myself. I would find a bridge. That would not be a fun time. If Deshaun Watson is ever wearing the black and gold, you're not going to find me anywhere.
Yeah, I mean we don't know what happened, so we won't speak on it. But you have to. Unfortunately, you got to roll back out with Big Ben because you're also not in a position to trade up in the draft and get one of these quarterbacks.
Right.
So you kind of have to roll with Big Ben again and hope that he doesn't absolutely shit the bed.
Yeah, and he had correct me if I'm wrong, but he had the same injury that Jake Delhomme had in 2007. Then he came back in 2008, and then the dumpster fire playoff game. Correct. I don't mean to bring up bad memories, but I think I'm drawing the same parallel.
Breakdown live on the show. I think Ben had that same kind of injury. I'm not sure if he had that Tommy John surgery.
I know it was elbow surgery. I don't know if it was
something
specifically
like that.
Tommy John.
But yeah, so you've kind of changed my mind on that whole Najee Harris pick, to be honest, because I haven't liked it for the long time. But the way you described it makes sense now. So
yeah, man, I will never forget one of the happiest moments of my life was us drafting Rashod Bateman, and then 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh yeah, the Steelers just opened their Super Bowl window.
I disagree. I do disagree with that because I look at it as, do you have a chance? Technically, sure. All 32 teams have a chance, unless you're the New York Jets. But you're not getting out of that division.
I'm going to cut that and put that like front and center. Every team has a chance except the Jets.
I'm with it. That'll get us some views.
Death threats in the comments.
But I look at it as like you're not getting past Baltimore or Cleveland in your own division. What makes you think you're going to make it out of the AFC?
That's fair.